Introduce some of these wonderful people behind us. The first person that has stood right with us right from the get-go is our Speaker of the House, Tim Armstead. David Haney and Dale Lee with the WVEA have been absolutely terrific. Christine Campbell, and I can't call him Bob Brown because I always refer to him as Bobby, from the WVAFT. Please give them a great big round of applause. And Joe White from the school service personnel. Give them a great big round of applause. Now let me deviate a little bit from my notes and just tell you this, that, a long time ago, I became a coach. And then I mentioned that in the State of the State. And really and truly, there's so much of this that seemed like that we still needed a coach. And what does a coach do when really things are really tough? A coach really looks at his own convictions. He really believes in something, and he believes something will really work. And really you can say what you want, but I have always believed in education, and I think it should be our centerpiece. And then somehow a coach sometimes, when he maybe isn't thinking quite right about something, a good coach is always willing to step up to the plate and say, I wasn't thinking about that the right way, and I did that. And so in other words, a good coach makes adjustments, maybe either at halftime or some point in time during the game. But I really believed after I went out on the road that really and truly the whole key was the word investment. And a little kid, Gideon, of all people, stepped up, touched probably by the good Lord, and just reminded me of what I've stood for over and over and over. Education needs to be our centerpiece. Education needs to be an economic driver. And little Gideon saying, why don't you invest in me? Well, it was impactful, to say the very least. So all that being said, I come back and I said, now the coach believes we ought to go to 5%. And I talked with your union leaders, and I talked with the Senate president, and I talked with our speaker, and I thought, boy, am I going to get an uphill battle out of the House. And the Senate's going to be tough, but the House is really going to be tough. And lo and behold, was I ever so wrong. And so the long and the short of it is just this. I would remind us all, and I would remind this nation just this. In West Virginia, we've proven how to be dead last over and over and over. In our nation, we have slowly but surely regressed in education compared to other nations across this world. At one time, we were the leaders among all, and now we're 13th or 38th or wherever it may be. At some point in time, we really do have to remember what Gideon said. Okay. We really may have to move away from the idea that education is some necessary evil that's just got to be funded, and move towards really and truly what we really should be doing is looking at our children, at our teachers, at the education process as an investment that we're going to try to make great. Now that's all there is to it. And that's what we have done in West Virginia, and the world has seen it. There's a lot of aspects of maybe you doing things that weren't maybe the right things to be done, and maybe you've done that out of frustration, and maybe the world was looking at us saying, well, I don't know if I like West Virginia right now. But really and truly, at the end of the day, your process, our process, these people's process, our Senate and our House both, all of us have maybe done something to stake a claim on the fact that maybe, just maybe, our voices will be heard that really today we are making an investment. We are making an investment to make education and to put education where, in my opinion, over and over it ought to be, and that is first. That's where it ought to be. So I thank you. Even though there was times you beat on me pretty bad, I thank you, and I mean that. Now, let me tell you, we've got more business to tend to, a lot more business to tend to. And that would be, I want to read a letter that I am directing to our state superintendent. I will be requesting the state superintendent of schools today to work with county superintendents to create flexibility with respect to satisfying the calendar day requirements. Our children have suffered enough. Yeah, I don't have a light up here that says applause. Oh, okay. Our children have suffered enough. We need to return some sense of normalcy to the education process. Families should and will have the time for their summer vacations. Our summer and reading programs should start on time. Just think about this. We could have endangered federal dollars that could have stopped maybe a summertime feeding and reading programs that could have impacted a lot of kids that need us really badly through the summer. Today is a new day for education in West Virginia. We will move forward. No more looking back. West Virginia renews its investment in education and our precious children today. Now, you know, we have created the PEIA task force. And you know, I have done my appointments and we're waiting on some others to get names to us and get it all put together. And it's just like anything else, whether you budget at your house or whatever you do, at times it takes a little longer. And now all the appointments will be in place by Thursday. One more cleanup is just this. The promised scholarship application deadline date was March 1st. And our students were really not able to receive the assistance that they needed from school counselors because we weren't there. So I have instructed the Higher Ed Policy Commission to extend that deadline to March 30th. Now, I'll take your questions, and don't beat me up too terrible bad because I've got some wonderful things to do here. Yes, sir.
Bring your questions to the microphone, please.
Governor Justice, I'm a reporter from the World Socialist website. You tweeted this morning that you found additional budget cuts to pay for the raises, and the Senate Finance Chairman Blair said these would be deep cuts, $20 million in general service programs as well as Medicaid. So are you saying that this what you're about to sign not only does not address the full funding of the PEIA, but it could also be paid for through cuts to low-income and poor children in their Medicaid, children that teachers teach?
There's not a chance on this planet that's going to be the case. And the reason it's not going to be the case is we have cash ending balances in Medicaid that will absolutely backstop any cuts whatsoever to Medicaid. And our people that are on Medicaid suffer in any way. The other thing, okay. The other thing is this, not cut, reduction in Medicaid, we feel like that it won't be needed because we ended up with a cash surplus last year in Medicaid of $173 million. Now, in all honesty, we think a reduction of $10 million in Medicaid is just prudent. We absolutely don't think we'll need it, but if we need it, we have the cash balances in the Medicaid coffers right now to cover it, hands down. No one needs to worry one instant about a Medicaid cut. And the other thing is just this, and I don't agree with this. I put $58 million into the revenue, and nobody can stop me from putting that in there. And I absolutely believe with all in me that it is rock solid numbers. Now, it came that maybe from whatever the reason may be, face saving or whatever the reason may be, that what we wanted to do is say, now hold on, we're not going to use that money on day one, which that money will be there. We're not going to use that money on day one. We're going to wait till the money's come in here and everything. Well, I mean, from my standpoint, I don't have a problem with that. I know the monies are going to be there. But if need be, there are all kinds of mechanisms to backfill the stew, whatever it may be, you know, as far as our supplementals or whatever it may be as far as Medicaid, we're good there. We're good. We don't even need to think about that. Next question, please.
Well, it seems like at this point the Senate and House have been able to come up with a budget that doesn't include the $58 million. Are you concerned about future years of revenue projections since some in the Senate still don't seem to trust the $58 million? How will you work with the Senate next year if we run into the same type of issue?
Well, look, I don't have any idea how in the world to be anything but just truthful. When we spiraled off into no man's land here, you know, we were at 211, and the Senate said, we don't believe this $58 million. Well, if they didn't believe the $58 million, how did they go to 4-4? You know, because 4-4 was identical to 5-3. It was identical, you know. And so I think what we're doing here is we're politically wrangling still. And I want you to know the people that went a different way from the standpoint of the Senate, those good people. Ms. Carmichael is a very good friend of mine. Today, but really when it boils right down to it, as they're good people, they feel like in a lot of ways that I walked away from them because I came, how did I come up with 1-1-1-1? I'll tell you exactly how. Last year I wanted 2% for the teachers. I couldn't get there because really the message back to me all the time is we want to do it for all. So I did 1 for all, 1 more for all, and 1-1-1 for the teachers. That's where it all started. And I thought, good idea. And boy, did I ever learn. Now, But along the way, what I'm saying to you is just this. Whether you have a disagreement with me or these people up here, every single person in that Senate and every single person in this House wants to do goodness for you and the state of West Virginia. It's just that we get tangled up a lot of times, and then when we get tangled up, we can sometimes become embarrassed, and then we can try to find some way to justify and have high ground. You know, unfortunately, and from that, sometimes we do some things that may not be the logical things to do.
My name is John Ryman. I'm a union person from Oakland, California. And first of all, I'd like to give a big thank you to the teachers out here and to everybody that supported them, because I feel like you have really set a new tone in this country. And my main thought, and I'd like your comments on this, Governor, is we've had 25 years of taking from the poor and the working class people and giving to the rich. And to me, what this strike is all about, yes, it's about education, but it's about reversing that and taking from the rich to give to us, the poor. So that's what I'd like to hear from you, is that's the only way forward to me, is to take from the rich and give to the poor. That's what this is all about. So your comments on that, please.
Unfortunately, in a lot of ways, you know, let me say something that's something that I know holds us back. A lot of times we pit rich against poor, black against white, union against non-union. Sometimes that really holds us back. Now, at the end of the day, we need to celebrate one another. And the good book teaches us the right ways. Now, I surely understand people's strife. And a lot of times we make real mistakes. A perfect example of that, in my opinion, is if you look at the rich and say, well, the rich were the timber people, or the rich were the coal people, or the rich may be the gas people. And all of a sudden, we as West Virginians sometimes become left standing with an empty bag. And so there's so many examples that could be right. But I hope to goodness that we're moving in a direction beyond that, to where we'll just try to work together and love one another and move forth.
Well, you just can't compare this to black against white. It's got nor male against female. It's just the exact opposite of that. They try to use that to divide us up as working class people. But we just have to admit the facts. In every way, who's paying the taxes? It's more and more and more working class people, and the rich are paying less and less. It's the same thing with income. More and more income is going to the wealthy, away from us, the working class people. So it's got absolutely nothing to do with the polar opposite of black against white. But it is just reality here. That's what's been happening in this country.
The governor has time for one more question now.
Governor Bolts Willis, I do have a question, but I'll wait till you sign the bill.
You mentioned that you were requesting the state superintendent to help out with flexibility regarding the calendar. One, by that, do you mean that you want the state superintendent to help counties have more freedom to not have to make up these missed days due to the strike? And if so, isn't that going to be even more academically damaging to these students if these days are not made up, seeing as they've already missed 8 or 9 school days?
Well, first of all, our state superintendent and our state Board of Education has educational wisdom beyond me. Surely to goodness, they with you they with you can catch our kids up and do any and everything we possibly can to have academic excellence and consideration of families and consideration of kids and programs that may not be able to get fed, and on and on and on. So those people are our experts, and I am requesting they come up with solutions to all this problem. Now, I'm going to sign. All right, now don't y'all give me a hard time when I'm doing this, okay? Now, let me tell you this. These are the originals. And this pen, I'm going to sign all these, and I'm going to give one of these pens to these great people that are behind us and everything. But this pen, in signing these original 4, I'm going to give this pen to our first grandson. I'm going to give this to James or Justice Charles Long, because I do believe we've created history today. Oh yeah, I want them all back. Okay. Now, Mr. Speaker, you got to come here. You deserve the first one, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for everything. I'll keep Gideon a pen. Okay, Dale Lee, where are you, sir? Way to go, man. That's yours. This is going to take just a second, but you guys have been through the Dickens and back. Just be a little patient with me. Okay, this one is David Haney. Thank you, David. Thank you. Christine, I'm signing yours right now. Don't you throw nothing at me. There you go, babe. Way to go. Proud of you, girl. All right, Bobby, here we go. There you go, sir. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you. All right, now Joe White, where are you? All right, thank you, Joe. All right, now, Mr. Speaker, come down here. Now, I'm going to sign one right now for Gideon. Let me do that. This is Gideon's. And I really thank you, Gideon. I really do. Now, don't y'all get upset with me. But it took a lot of courage for them to get across the finish line, too. And I'm signing this one for Mitch. Now, Mr. Speaker, I'm giving you the full prerogative. I'm going to sign all the rest of these, and you are to award. Okay, now, you got to bail me out there, Mr. Speaker. You stood with me rock solid. Help me a little bit.
All right. Let's see. Our conferees, we ought to get our conferees that worked hard on this.
Okay, that'd be great.
Bill. Where's Brett? Where's Brett? Here you go, Brett. I don't think I'm going to do it right here. We'll take it back to the Capitol.
Okay, good idea. You see how good a politician he is? He said, I'm not going to do all this right here. I'm going to take them back to the Capitol and give them away. I think that's fair enough. I don't have many more to go.
Got a lot of signs to do.
Oh, listen. I've only got 3 more to go. Now, y'all calm down. Now, let's do this. Which is the middle row here? The middle, wait, what is the middle row? Let's count from the first seats, let's count 8 back. All right, we're counting 8 back, and then the speaker is going to whisper a number to me. Whisper a number between 1 and 20. All right, now we're counting 14 over. 8 back, 14 over. Come on now. Somebody do the counting. And count 14 over. Now come on, do that. Now, y'all are teachers, for crying out loud. All right, this one's yours. Listen, God bless you. Thank you so much. There you go.